Extreme Gaming Podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Extreme Gaming Podcast. We are up to episode 338. I'm Trev, as always, and that is Gray, as always.
Yep.
How are you doing,
Great
Gray?
gamer, as always, yes.
Just you and I. How are you doing? You've been watching the World Cup, haven't you?
Yeah. A little bit, not as much as you guys, but yeah, here and there.
I haven't been watching loads of it, to be honest, yeah.
I watched two games. I watched Brazil and Scotland.
Oh, well.
I watched Brazil and Japan, and that's it. Haven't even watched the U.S. play yet. I was like,
That is, oh my lord, honestly. The biggest sport in the world, and they're not interested. Never got that one.
If it's NFL, then it's another whole story. It's the same here. Yeah. But it's just we're rabid about the NFL. But you know what? The NFL's been playing games all over the world now. It's like crazy. It used to be just one or two games in London, whatever. Now I think this coming season they're playing a dozen games in different countries.
Interesting.
Like, wow.
Interesting. Well, World Cup fever at the moment. Hope you're enjoying it if that's your thing. If it's not, then you've got this podcast. Of course, don't forget the Discord. As always, discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast, or you can search for it on the Googles to come and chat and say hello and just talk nonsense to us. And, well, the podcast will always be free. There is a YouTube membership for $1.99 a month, which gets you early access to the video podcast before even the audio drops. So you'll get it at least 2 days early, if not more, depending on how you do it. So yeah, that's optional, but the pod will always remain free, of course. And within the next couple of weeks, we'll probably be recording another episode of Gray's Extreme Hollywood podcast, which kinda is the same thing as a gaming podcast, but Hollywood themed, and that can range from everything.
Yeah. Movies, TV, all that kind of stuff.
To bitching and moaning, to opinion pieces, to mergers coming up, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay. Paperwork out the way, Gray. There is a lot of stuff this week. A lot of stuff. So much so that I was even putting a story or two your way because it can't be the Trev show because I wouldn't pay for that. So there is a lot of stuff to go on about, and it's very rarely a slow week. Even when we think it's a slow week, and it's just say Gray and I that can make it for the recording, we still end up waffling for an hour and a half and talking about stuff. So yeah,
never an issue for us to get at least 90 minutes.
No, it's not. It's not. The first thing to kick off with is the heavily rumored and feared news of Bungie laying off a lot of their staff. Now, I don't think it's 110% confirmed yet at the moment, but what it's looking like at the moment is Bungie will lay off 300 jobs at their studio, which is basically more or less their full Destiny 2 development team. Not quite the whole thing. They'll probably need some people left for maintenance and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, pretty much the lot of them are being cancelled. It seems like a never-ending farce that is Bungie keeps rolling on, and Sony have made mistake after mistake with studios. I'm guessing, Greg, you're not really surprised at all by that news, considering the rumors.
I think being a surprise from all of us on this podcast is that went out the window a long time ago. I mean, not that we'd like to see it happen, but now it's kind of like, oh, really? It's just another story. People getting laid off again,
It's and there's more of that to come. It's never ending. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but fortunately, bad news tends to be more prominent than good news, unfortunately. So yeah, Bungie still keep plugging away with their marathon game, which no one wants, but they keep plugging along with it anyway. So,
Meanwhile, Destiny, everybody's playing it and liking it again, and da da da. And the DLC is out, and then they just go, we're not going to do that though. Like,
yeah, it's sad, but it's true.
look, when Marathon crashes and burns finally, then maybe they'll get back to Destiny. We'll see.
Maybe, but they need something to maintain and keep going. That's the thing. And they'll still make money off of Destiny for a little while, even with no new content, because there is stuff to buy in the shop and whatnot. So, yeah.
Why don't they just do like Ubisoft's been doing? They should just license off the IP where they still get a certain amount of profit or whatever, and let another studio handle it. I'm sure there's a studio that would want to do it.
It's not up to Bungie, it's up to Sony at the end of the day. So they're probably just saying they're not entertaining it, or they're not interested in the slightest. It's not a good idea for them.
It's because they hate PC.
That's it. They must do. They hate PC. Which I've got something to discuss about that shortly as well, actually. It's all kind of linking in. So yeah, not officially announced, but significant layoffs expected very, very soon, which is a bloody shame because, their studio will be cut by more than half by the time this is all said and done. So yeah, moving on from there, this blew my mind, even despite the current market, because it happened not that long ago. Microsoft, our pals over at Xbox, are raising the price of the Xbox console again by $100 to $150, and that works out at the cheapest Xbox Series X console will retail for $250 from August the 1st. So they're giving you a little bit of time, not loads, but they're giving you a little bit of time to get in amongst it, even though the PlayStation well and truly outsells the Xbox. But nevertheless, since Sharma came in, she's been making a lot of changes, some good, some bad. The prices of these consoles, if that was your cup of tea, you want to maybe get one for, say, GTA coming out, you'll need to be quick. So the S and X are going up in price by $100 for the 512 gig model and $150 for the 1 terabyte model. While, this is interesting but not surprising, the 2 terabyte model consoles will be discontinued. Now, the 2 terabyte console was that kind of limited edition Galaxy Black special edition thing that they had. And the 2 terabyte drive is a kind of good idea because the PS5 Pro's got a 2 terabyte drive in it by default, and it's nice to have that option considering how big games are.
Yeah.
I usually say 1 terabyte is the minimum, 2 is nice to have for a console. And they do, I've forgotten about this, Gray, but they do a Series X 1 terabyte model without a disk drive. I didn't think that was I actually forgot that was a thing. But yeah, they had a digital edition. That will retail for $750, while the disk drive model will retail for $800. So
they're probably getting rid of the 2 terabyte, because if they had a charge for that, imagine how much it would be.
But you just give people the option. It's nice to give people the option, but yeah.
Can an Xbox, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but can Xbox be, can you open it up and put it in another drive, or?
You can't open it up. No, you can, but it wouldn't work. You have to plug in an external drive, which acts like an internal drive. They're even more locked down than PlayStation. PlayStation, as long as it's PCI Express 4.0 or 5.0 or above, a certain speed and spec, it'll work. And you actually plug it in internally too. There's a little slot that comes up in the PlayStation. One of the flaps comes away, or one of the panels comes away, and you can just screw in this 2280 drive, M.2 drive, and it's just like an additional drive. It's handy, but the Xbox, it's like it almost looks like a memory card from the PlayStation 2 days that you just plug into the side of the console. and it's been configured in such a way that it acts like internal storage in terms of speed. It's very, very fast, but there's only two manufacturers that I'm led to believe that actually make them. And for the longest time, there was only one, it was Seagate, and they were extortionate, really expensive. But now there's two slightly better, but yeah, they're literally the cheapest Xbox console you can get at the moment is the 512 gig Series S for $500 and the 1 terabyte for $600. So that's a lot of money. We're going in the opposite direction again. Modern day, we're not going back the way in terms of reductions as the generation goes on. That means, Gray, that they've basically increased the price of the Xbox console twice within the last year. And if you want to work out kind of overall costs since the console first came out in 2020, the Series X with the disk drive now costs $300 more than it did back 6 years ago, while the S is 50% more expensive than it once was. I can remember it came out and it was only $250. It was such a good price. That is mental, but it's the usual excuse. Well, it's partial. It is mainly valid. It is mainly valid, but it's the current component crisis. They have to kind of pass it on. They make a bit of a loss, console manufacturers, because they hope they'll go on. You'll go in their store and buy digital games and give them 30%. So there is that, but it is absolutely nuts. I generally think prices for both consoles again will go up next year. That's what they're saying. They generally think next year it's going up, and they try to soften the blow. Xbox by saying there's different way you can buy now, pay later, interest-free financing.
Buy now, pay later. Buy now, really pay later.
yeah. It's I'm not really surprised. It's a shit situation, and the whole, of course, Steam machine that we touched upon last, costing as much as it does, and they don't want to make a loss, and rightly so, that they shouldn't have to. But the people out there, famous YouTubers and whatnot, have literally proved that you can build a more powerful console or your own computer, I guess, than the Steam machine for cheaper. So the Steam machine will be dead in arrival when it comes out. It's just, and remove the 4K terminology from their what the machine can do as well, Gray, which is sneaky.
Did you? I know you saw that story I posted in our Discord about the Steam machine.
I haven't read.
That?
Well, yeah. I saw the headline. I haven't read it, but I got the general gist of it. That says it all. Look what you could do for less.
But I mean, what you just said is obviously it's true, and we see it.
Yeah.
But what made me crack up though is not only can they build it a little cheaper, but they go and name it a Stim machine. Give me a break. Oh my God! Couldn't you come up with a better name than that? Like Stim machine. It's just
I love
ridiculous.
It. Stimulation machine. I like it. It's way better. Yeah, no, it's a bit of a shit show, this whole situation at the moment. I'm curious to see what happens over, say, the next 2 years, because prices will go up again. They won't just stay like that. They reckon every one of the console manufacturers will increase their price again at some point, probably after the holidays. But we have an article coming up that's talking about conglomerates and lawsuits and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be interesting.
Well, if you believe some of the stories we're seeing, they're talking about RAM not changing for at least 5 years. I'm like, geez, 5 years. I was hearing 2 years, and now 3, and then now it's 5. And like, oh my God.
Well, I'm kind of glad that I've got 64 gig of RAM at a decent price at the time. I should be able to ride this out, but not everyone will, which is a shame.
You and I and Hans and maybe other people like us got very, very lucky at just the right time, because everything is so expensive now, and we just got under the wire. And stuff.
Yeah, indeed. Next is staying on an old console bandwagon at the moment. Fortunately or unfortunately, this season, I wish Hans was on for this. So if he listens to it back, then he might pop in at some point.
Yeah,
He's
he
got
might pop
some
in.
kind of adult stuff. That sounded wrong. He's got some grown up stuff that he needs to attend to.
No, I like it. I like it the first way you said it.
I bet you do. So if you listen to this back, Hans, I told you so. But PlayStation's PC port era appears over as Sony scrubs key policy language. Now, this is something that doesn't come as a surprise because we discussed this a few weeks ago, and I said that there's a fellow in PlayStation called Herman Holst who basically told people in a town hall keynote that they were going to stop making first party games, but multiplayer games would still be a thing because they need competition and other platforms. They need people to play. And I didn't have any really big problem with that because at the end of the day, it's their IP. They can do what they want with it, just as Nintendo and Microsoft can do what they want with their IPs. If you really want to play their games, buy a bloody console. You don't want to play their games, don't buy a console. So yeah, they literally changed their wording on their site to basically remove any sign of PC talk, which is not really surprising me in the slightest. I really don't know what other evidence Mr. Hans really needs that he won't be able to play the play. He's bitter about it. He wants to have his cake and eat it, you see, Hans. He doesn't like Sony or PlayStation, but he wants to be able to play some of their games on PC from time to time. That's what you call a hypocrite. But
now I can't deny it. So it's
I don't have much more evidence you really need. And it does make sense, to be honest here. But yeah, at least online games will still be available for some competition. So if you want to play Wolverine, Marvel's Wolverine, you'll have to go with PlayStation. And probably God of War, Laffy games and whatnot, which I'm not entirely sure about, Boris, that I don't know if I'll get that now, come to think of it. Apparently the cube in it is vital to the story, Gray, but I just can't get behind a game that's one of the sidekicks is a feckin' talking cube.
Not even with Jack Quaid's
Quaid or not. Not even with Jack Quaid, no. That game was in the works for 8 years. Like, not actively worked on the whole time, but like they thought of the idea and started it slowly but surely 8 years ago. So
what I do like though is I like the sword. See, the sword is pretty cool, and
that makes sense.
I like that. I really do like that. But the cube, yeah, it's kind of like. And then I saw some footage of the fight scenes, and the cube is like shuffling from here to there, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, it looks so goofy. It's just like,
it is goofy. That's why.
By the way, to backtrack a little bit, I was just curious when you had mentioned about this PlayStation and other consoles and whatnot going up. So I went on eBay just for the heck of it to see what pre-owned was going for. And according to what I'm seeing here, PlayStation 5 Pro used, is $790, $800, $734, $900. So the average price looks like it'd be somewhere around $800 to $900 depending. So
that's mental.
And that's used. So geez. Oh, excuse me. One's brand new. The other ones are used.
Still,
pre-owned. I'm sorry, pre-owned.
I mean, that's more or less used, to be fair in my eyes.
This is interesting. Now this one sold Sony PlayStation Pro 5, 2 terabyte, 500. There had to be something wrong with it.
Yeah,
or maybe it was really old.
Like the console was missing or something.
That's just for the controller.
Yeah, well, if Valve can do it, sell a bloody console without a controller.
I was thinking we could tell our listeners to go on eBay and like, well, if you don't want to pay that money, you can find it, decent price on eBay. And like, yeah, okay.
Well, you will find it cheaper on eBay, to be fair. Just how much cheaper? And the thing is, if you get it from like a refurbished store on eBay, you usually get 12 months warranty on it as well. So that's handy.
This is great. $480, parts only.
That's a thing, man. That's a thing. That is a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the last thing I've got for this little segment anyway, we touched upon this recently, but there's more information that was released just after we done the last pod, to be fair. And that was Rockstar confirms Grand Theft Auto Ultimate Edition and pre-order bonuses as well as price. Now, I hate to say I told you so, Gray, but I told you so. I knew it wouldn't be more than the standard price because why would it? Just because it's Grand Theft Auto. It is $80 or £70 for the standard edition, which is $70 to $80 is the norm in the industry at the moment.
It's not a norm we like, though. Then let's get that clear.
If they increase every generation by $10, I think that's fair. Great, inflation's a thing, man, and every 7-8 years they increase it by 10. It's probably matching inflation, to be honest here. But none of us really pay that very often at all for games. Right. Very rare because mainly PC gamers, you get things cheaper. But yeah, so your standard edition, $80. Now, here's the thing that's a bit shitty and a bit scummy for me.
A bit? It's a lot.
Well, okay, I'm trying to be nice. The Ultimate Edition, which is the second edition, will include an exclusive collection of premium vehicles, weapons, apparel, and action threaded across all aspects of Jason and Lucia, the main antagonists of the game, across their story, according to the studio. Players who pre-order or buy the standard or Ultimate Edition, before November 20th, will also get the Vintage Vice City Pack, which features a collection of items that flash back to when the neon burned brightest. As I mentioned before, Take-Two, who own Rockstar, confirmed that the standard edition of the game will cost $79.99 and the Ultimate Edition will cost $99.99.
$100.
They have also confirmed a physical edition of Grand Theft Auto 6 will come out, but will not include a disc at launch and instead include a code in a box. What is the fucking point in that? Unless they don't want to spoil the game for leaks and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's easier to pirate a disc. I don't know.
You can't pirate the discs for the consoles. It's not a thing. Certainly at the moment, anyway. But yeah, so I won't go through everything, but the Ultimate Edition does include a lot of stuff, a lot of little extras that you get for the 20. It's probably worth it if you're a diehard Grand Theft Autoer.
But did you? I don't know if you've covered it or whether you're going to get to it, but they also locked new.
Yes,
new
literally.
missions.
I was saying it literally just about. See, there you got to give it a chance. It's shit. They have locked a couple of things behind the Ultimate Edition. Their argument is the standard edition is the normal game. Your gameplay won't be affected by getting the standard edition. There is a couple of missions that include a couple of venues that you would have access to on these couple of extra missions. And if you try and approach them or enter them in the standard edition, they'll just be closed. So, and it is shitty, but they have said the standard edition is the main game. You're not missing out on anything like that. So I don't know. I guess I'm being devil's advocate here and doing a poor take of being devil's advocate, but that'd be a little bit shitty. However, it's not just a couple extra missions. Like there is for that extra $20, Gray. I actually think you get a decent amount of extras there.
You get a lot of stuff. Sure,
you do. There's lots of cosmetic stuff. There's lots of there's things like pre-order bonuses as well as just Ultimate Edition bonuses as well. But yeah, it kind of does suck a little bit. One of them's the classic car collection as well. You get access to a garage and be able to do things with the cars that I think you can only do in the Ultimate Edition. So the kind of sub story to this, still GTA 6 related. What some people there's conflicting stories about this one. It came out initially that GTA 6 disc version would be coming reportedly in December. So it was just for the first production run that a code the box would be there to stop spoilers, which I get. I understand that. That makes total sense. Get the game out there, give chance of people to get it, the diehards, and then if there's leaks out there, then that's your fault and no one else's. But in recent, in like the last day or two, there's been counter stories to that to say that Take-Two have actually denied that they're planning to release any physical edition of GTA 6 at all, meaning you have to get it digitally. I don't see the point of the code in a box.
Yeah, I don't either.
What's the point in that? If they want to make it digital only, that's their prerogative. But I code in a box that you can no longer resell after, Gray. You can't sell it on after that.
When they talk about a disc and they give the excuse that, we're not doing the disc right away because I think it'll be spoiled. I think that's a crock because everybody that buys the game without the disc, digitally, they're going to spoil it to hell. I mean, it's not going to make a bit of difference.
But Gray, they can't spoil it early. If you release a game on day one on physical,
yeah,
often it's leaked because there's someone in a store. People in the stores get access to these discs sometimes up to a week or two early, and that's where the leaks come from. So in their defense, I get it. It is annoying, but then just bring out the disc edition a month later or something. Like people still want to collect physical media. I'm not fussed about collecting it. I prefer physical media because once I've finished the game, if I choose to, I can then sell it on again and get a good bit of my money back. That's why I like it.
So you can buy another $80 game.
Exactly. And listen, the physical edition as well, I think it means more money for the publisher because they don't need to give 30% to PlayStation or Microsoft.
Do you think Hans, even though he doesn't care about the game, and neither do I, is going to buy it because it's a physical edition? He might go for it because he's a collector. So
there's no disc in it, and there's no collector's edition. So no.
Yeah. All right.
No. If there was God, they would have made a killer on that, wouldn't it? With a collector's edition. But yeah, I generally believe that. I generally don't think there will be an actual physical disc in a box. There'll be the box with a code, but that's about it. So frustrating as hell, but I generally might just wait till it comes out in PC because when it comes out in PC, it will look shit hot. That's one thing you can say about Rockstar. Yes, they don't bring it out on day one to PC. They focus on where most of the money comes from, which is from consoles. But they then bring out the PC version a while after, and by the end of it, all said and done, it runs so much better. Uncapped frame rates, full ray tracing in there, looks stunning, 4K, 8K. That would be good. So we'll see. Watch this space. On to you, Mr. Gray. I'm going to rest my little voice.
This next article is something we've been chatting about a little here and there, and now it looks like it might actually be on its way to happening, which could make a lot of people happy, including all of us. And what is that? The SteamOS apparently is now preparing to come to PC. Apparently now Steam is working with Intel and Nvidia to work on doing dual boot setups, etc. They're pushing the SteamOS beyond the Steam Deck. They want it to go to the broader PC market, etc. So they're preparing this now. So this is not a rumor. This is something that's going on. As to when it will actually happen, I don't know. I'm hoping by, I don't know, maybe the latest the end of the year. It'd be nice. But but they think that maybe in the long run, Valve will be the winner, because even if they don't sell a lot of Steam machines because of the price being so expensive, that they'll win the war because they're going to get SteamOS out there that can run all the games far better than Windows.
I thought they released it already, Gray. Like SteamOS was available for the regular punter to download and try themselves.
No, not for with the. It's not supposed to be that easy to do right now.
Oh, okay.
But they're going to make it so that you can. So if they're working right with Intel and Nvidia, and they're talking about future dual boot setups, that means they're going to sit there and set it up so that it can be done easily, and they're going to instruct you how to do it if you don't already know, et cetera, et cetera. So, man, all I can tell you is the first day that SteamOS becomes real like that, I'm signing up. I'm going to work out a dual boot and do it, because
a dual boot's a good idea. I would never want to get rid of Windows because it's a productivity tool, but it would be nice to maybe dual boot and then launch straight into big picture mode, for example, on Steam, and then just get playing straight away. Like maybe you could have that for your TV or something, like you dual boot and then turn it onto your TV, and then you're straight into big picture mode with a controller or something. That sounds like a nice option to have.
I think also what it's doing too is it's really putting Linux back in the limelight again, because Linux has always been around. It's been around for a long time. But one of the things with Linux is that even though it's easier than it used to be to use as an operating system, it's still rather difficult for the normal person to do, even if you have some knowledge. But if SteamOS can get through that, which it looks like they are, because they've actually bent Linux to their will, so to speak, to work the way they wanted it. And they spent a lot of time on it and programming and working and all that stuff. So that just shows you that going down line, maybe another year or two from now, it could really start threatening Windows. If so much so that I know Windows right now, or Microsoft is already, trying to strengthen Windows to what all the critics have been saying you should be doing with it. Because I think they see some of the handwriting on the wall. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but if they don't pay attention to the things that Windows, the problems that Windows has, they're gonna fall behind. So I think either way, the competition is going to make it so that they're pushed into giving us a better Windows, in the long run.
Yeah, so. I think it's a good thing. I don't think it'll ever overtake Windows, because Windows is just too massive and big, and it's a productivity tool. Maybe in terms of purely the gaming element, maybe, but as an OS on its own, I don't think it will overtake Windows. There's too many machines out there in the world. However, Linux is getting taken more seriously now. And one of the bugbears for me was when I was looking at the Steam Deck back in the day, I was like, there's certain games I can't play. Rust, Destiny 2, I couldn't play because they use anti-cheat, and anti-cheat doesn't work, or the version of anti-cheat they use doesn't work on Linux, on Proton. But now it's getting taken more seriously, to the point where even Nvidia are working on proper graphics drivers for Linux. So that is a good thing, because if more and more people take it seriously, anti-cheats will get on board. All the main players will get involved. Nvidia, Intel, you name it, they'll all get on board, and they'll all make proper drivers for these things. We see we see ARM is becoming a big thing now as well in terms of chip architecture. So things are moving, and competition is good. But yeah, I might do the dual boot as well, possibly, but never replace Windows.
No, you can't, at least not right now. And if Windows takes this as a warning sign, which they seem to be, and they make Windows better, then it's a win-win. You can do a SteamOS for gaming, and you still have your Windows for everything else. So that could actually be really good for us.
Windows 12 is coming out, rumored to be the end of this year or next year. So if it does, let's hope there's some improvements in that. And some of the rumors of them partly bringing it out in a modular format, some of them being chargeable, is rolled back. And it's what Windows 11 should have been. Like, or what Windows 10 was, like a very good system, but improved upon. Let's just hope that the even ones continue to be better.
I heard, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that Microsoft either has or will be extending Windows 10 support for another year. What
They
does
have
that
to,
tell
mate.
you? Right? Yeah.
They have to, and they've done this for the last few OSs because you can't cut your nose off to spite your face. It's just silly. And there's so many people still left on it. I mean, crying out loud, Windows XP and 7 are two of the biggest examples I could think of where they would continue special support with, say, defense contractors and governments and whatnot for a while after for like actual security updates because big organizations and governments were still using the old OSs. So, yeah, man, crazy.
I mean, one of the things I do is I'm Mr. Customization. I just like to be able to customize everything I want. And one of the things that I do and installed on my computer is a thing called Start All Back, it's called. And Start All Back allows you to change a lot of things in your taskbar and your start button and other things in menus back to either a Windows 7 or 10 or a hybrid. And I was just like, I couldn't believe how much customization there was. So I arranged it on mine where I get an enhanced Windows 7 taskbar and button and menu, and it's so much better than Windows 11. It really is. And so there are programs out there if you want to. They're not really that expensive, and they're worth it if you want it to look and act and work the way you want it to.
The thing is, right, Gray, you've got the Ultrawide in as well now, as I, which is something we can possibly discuss. The Ultrawide is actually handy to have the dock in the middle, or the taskbar, sorry. I use a Mac at work, so I get mixed up sometimes with the names. I like it being in the middle now. I used to prefer it to the left-hand side, but at the same time, I also don't want to have a giraffe's neck looking away around here to the left to see the bloody task. You know, so I like it in the middle because see as you use more icons, see if you put more icons there, Gray, it expands from left to right, like bigger out the way, and you're looking bang on. So you're just a little fuddy duddy that doesn't like change. That's all it is.
It's not even that. I mean, that's part of it, I guess. But the bigger part for me is that why can't I customize stuff the way I want? And when I see
Microsoft are arseholes.
I know, exactly. So when I see third-party programs come out that allow you to do not just little things, but major stuff that you can mess with to make it the way you want, I'm all for it. You know, maybe I'm too much that way, but I don't care. That's the way I want it. The other thing I was talking to Hans about it, and you are right. I put the taskbar in the center too. When you get a widescrreen, you can't put it to the left or the right anymore, man.
No, you'll end up seeing a chiropractor every fucking week, man. You'll be like, I'm away to the left or away to the right.
Yeah, it's too much. What I did pick up on, though, that I did some research of my own and ChatGPT assisted, of course, but I found a program that you can buy on Steam, but I think it's available other than Steam. But anyway, it's called DisplayFusion Pro. So
I've heard of it.
What does DisplayFusion do? The thing that I like about it, it does a bunch of different things here and there, but the main thing that I thought I really liked was that you can take your widescreen and basically set it up to be 2 monitors, let's say, or 3, or 4, or 6, or 8, whatever you want to do on your widescreen. But so that already is pretty cool. But what's better is that it's the only program that lets you save all the profiles. So what's cool is that I have one where I have the one full widescreen plus my 32-inch over to the left here. So I set that up as a profile. Then I have a second profile where I split my widescreen into 3 different monitors, so to speak, and my 32 over here. And then I'm thinking about doing another one where I split the widescreen in half instead of 3s, plus my 32 over here. And you just right click and go profile, click, bink, and it takes like 2 seconds, and it changes to the profile.
Is it not built into the monitor I've got? Okay, I might not be able to put 3 displays worth on one ultrawide, but I can actually select a mode that will actually split it into 2 32-inch monitors. And I can actually it's got two inputs. It's got is it a KVI switch? I always get confused with that.
AVM,
I can
yeah.
switch, KVM, sorry. I can switch between it. I could split my screen virtually into two and then have one half for work with the MacBook attached to it and the other half for what I want to do with it. And that's built
Right,
in.
but
Do you need a program to do that?
here's the thing, though. Instead of having a second input that you have to worry about, instead of using more of a hardware solution like you're doing, it's a simple software solution that works fabulously and so easy. And saving the profiles, if you want to make up 10 profiles of bizarre setups that you want, whatever it might be, you can. And just with a click of a button, it just changes it right away. So I like that. I don't want to fumble with switches and monitor things and extra inputs and blah, blah, blah. All I got to do is just set it up the way I want to, save the profile, name it whatever you want, and then boom, just load it. Poof.
Bob's your uncle. Yeah.
So between that and start all back, and I'm always looking at other things, the little things here and there. I think that's just a must for widescreen, in my
Gray,
opinion.
what did you do with your other? I mean, it's not been that long since you actually bought the additional monitors. Like was it 32 inches? So have you now got two monitors that you don't need anymore? Is that what we're saying?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, I kept the youngest of the three, which is also the highest quality of the three. And I have that now as my second monitor next to the widescreen. So now I have two other ones, the one that's a little older than this and one that's a little older than that. And yeah, for right now, they're, I might give one to my grandson or whatever, or I might sell it. I don't know. I mean, even if I sell it though, I'm not going to get a whole lot for it. Like I thought.
Yeah,
maybe
is it like the hassle? Is it worth it? And then would you not consider getting a monitor stand, like a pole at the back, so you can put another 32-inch above your ultrawide? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. To give you an idea, I've got the 57-inch widescreen here, and above that, I've got this special monitor arm that just arrived today that I can put another 27 inches above, so that if I'm doing ultrawide gaming, I have something to see Discord and whatnot on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
I might try it just because. Why
just
not?
One of them,
just to see what it would look like. The only thing is, when you're talking about the 27 inches above yours, it is a major difference putting 32 inches above this as opposed to 27.
Yeah, but you'd only be putting one above partly, I think. No, and it wouldn't be super high. That would only be for stuff that you need to look at sometimes from time to time. You wouldn't want to be looking up there a lot. It's not good for your neck. So that's additional. But, just 132 inch above you need an ultra high pole. You need an ultra tall pole when you're getting a monitor arm. Like it's 39 inches, I think it is. And the one I've got has got two arms that come out from it. So I can put two 27 inches on there above. I was looking to see if I could get one above that again to put my fourth monitor on that. But I was like, no, the whole desk is just going to collapse if I do that. Because this is a stand-up desk. So
the only thing I haven't really tried yet is I have two monitor arms that were made by Secret Labs, along with my Secret Labs desk, etc. And are they pricey? Yeah, but man, the quality is superior, in the build. So since now I have an extra arm, I was thinking, wow, I wonder how far the arm will go up. It does go up. I just don't know if it's going to go up enough.
It won't for 32 inch. I was struggling to even get a standard one to go up 27 inch, mate. It's going to be too much because the thing is, right, you've got to not only clear your ultra wide in terms of height, but you've then got to clear the height of a 32 inch and then maybe even leave a little gap, ideally, in between them. It's just too tall unless you have a special pole. Unless you have an extra long monitor pole for that, it won't work.
Well, one thing I didn't do because it was just too much money is when I got the widescreen, I thought, I'm going to see what kind of arm I can get for the from Secret Labs to hold the widescreen, because the normal ones won't hold it. It's too heavy. So I said, let me go see what it. Oh my God, it's bad enough that the regular arms cost somewhere around $300, or whatever, $250, $300, which I have two of them. But the widescreen one is like $500, and I'm sitting there going like, oh my God, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
that's
kept
great.
I kept the stand it came with, and it's just fine. It's just fine.
It's totally normal. Like I don't need a monitor arm for my ultrawide. If I did, I have something that can probably hold it. A number of years ago bought what they called Ergotronic or something like that. They make specialist hydraulic monitor arms because that's the only way you can hold something like that. And this monitor arm, not only did it have longer reach, but it could hold up to a 42-inch. 42. So
Wow.
it may or may not do the ultra wide, and I bought it for my last place because I had a 42-inch TV at the time and I'm limited in space. So what I would literally do is put this monitor, or it was a TV actually on the monitor arm, and I could actually protrude it away from the wall so I could watch it while I was in bed, and I'd swivel it around and watch the football if I was getting on the
that's a good
PC
idea.
gaming.
Yeah.
So I still got this monitor arm, and I'll do you a good price when you come over to visit Edinburgh late at the end of the month. No, I've got it. I don't need it at home, but it's handy to have. There is monitor arms that even hold the 57-inch ultra wide.
Oh
But
man, that must cost almost as much as the monitor.
I think they're not as expensive here as they are over there. I think it's the monitor arm I got years ago, that Ergotronic one or whatever it's called. That was £250 back a number of years ago. So you can get ones to hold it, but that's a lot of weight, man. What's the point?
Yeah, I don't think there is a point because the base stand on this one is fine. I can still tilt it.
It's high enough, yeah. It goes up and down. It swivels. What do you want? The only thing that you can't do, you can't turn it. You can't turn it landscape, but that's just not going to work.
That. I mean, if you turn this thing that way, I'd be going like, whoa!
But hang on, I'm away down here. Hang on, right? Yeah, I'm back.
Definitely not doing that. I mean, if you want, there is a reason to do it, but you would get a widescreen that's not ultra widescreen and maybe turn it on the side. That's fine. But this thing and yours, which is even bigger than mine, it'd be like, oh my god.
Mine is always bigger. Mine is always bigger than you.
Yeah, I know. Mine just kind of goes bigger, smaller, bigger. Anyway.
Oh my lord! So I speaking of ultra wides, I got my ultra wide in purely because I could not have the boys outdoing me. I didn't even want an ultra wide. I was like, it's fine, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, listen, I'm going to get the biggest and the best, or go home. Get the biggest or go home. I'm not going to get the one Gray got. I'm not going to get the one Hans got because they're inferior. I want the best of the best. So I got this. I got the Samsung G9 Odyssey. It is 57-inch ultra widescreen, micro RGB, mini LED. Sorry, it's basically the equivalent of two 32-inch 4K monitors side by side. I can't remember its full resolution, but it's like 8K one dimension, 4 in another, and it's 240 hertz. I could drive it with the 5090 I've got, thankfully.
Yeah.
And the thing is absolutely stunning. It's not perfect. Like, there's a bit of haloing, but I'll be honest, the monitor I had before, I switched to a QD-OLED before, and I didn't like it. I must have been one of the first generations of QD-OLEDs I got because it didn't seem to go bright enough for me. And I actually missed my old IPS panel that I had, a 4K one. I should have just kept that. So I was like, right, I don't like it anymore. I'm going to get rid of it. I get this one in at the moment. And it's nuts. The resolution in this thing, man. 57 inches. What's on your Gray?
I was very surprised on my 49. It's a QD-LED. And my 32-inch over here is an OLED, but not a QD-OLED. But it looks good as hell. So when I put the ultra wide here, I didn't think it was going to look better than my 32. I figured it would look just as good, which is fine with me. And I put it up and I just go like, whoa, this thing looks pretty good. I mean, the QD-LED makes a big difference in some ways, man. The blacks are like super crisp and everything. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I
100%.
tried. I haven't played every game on it yet, but I did play Elite Dangerous the other day on the wide ultra wide. Man, that's cool. it's like whoa, real estate. Woo.
Certain games would suit it really, really well. Tell me, is your ultra wide a curved monitor, or is it just
curved?
So, do you remember the curvature number, the R?
No, I'm not offhand.
Mine is 1000R, which is the most fucking curved you can get. So you're just it takes up your whole peripheral vision. The thing is super, maybe too much. Maybe too much, to be honest with you.
I think my Samsung 32 is a 1000R, but I think the widescreen isn't quite 1000. And I kind of like it like that. I don't. It's too bad you can't adjust it. Wouldn't that be cool? You just kind of like, I can just go like this.
Well, you say that. There's an LG that you can actually do that with. I don't know if it ever came out or it was just a concept one. Yeah. Remember you guys posted it in Discord of a broken screen?
Oh, no, that was a joke. Yeah.
No, but that monitor exists. At least in a concept. Okay. It's called the LG Flex. And you can literally flex it from flat screen to curve. Only subtly, only a bit. But obviously, this guy's broken his one by doing it too much, so it does exist.
Yeah, it's just like I can do it. I'm not gonna tempt fate because I like it. It's fine. It's great. I love it. So I'm good.
Not. We went massively off tangent there, but considering all the time we had, then it's not such a bad idea. Yeah.
We never do boring tangents.
It's still what were we on? Like, I think we discussed one of your articles.
Yeah. So the next thing I looked at was Xbox hits worst U.S. sales month on record. PS5 drops 58% as well as hardware prices soar. So basically, it said the average price of new games we already know is up 14% compared to a year ago. U.S. console hardware sales in May looked ugly for both traditional consoles, both of the brands, in other words. VGC reports Xbox had its worst May hardware units sales ever, while the PS5 unit sales dropped 58%, the weakest May for PlayStation hardware since the year 2000. So you're talking 26 years ago. Switch 2 helped offset the overall hardware market, but we'll talk about that in a second. So putting Switch 2 aside for the moment, that's a big drop, man. I mean, and yes, a lot of it has to do with hardware getting more expensive for sure. But this is causing the backlash, whether the console makers like it or not. So more and more people are not going for the expensive ones. They're either using what they have and or buying used or just not bothering buying a console altogether. So we're going to see. I'm not really – I was surprised at how bad of a drop it was. I'm not surprised that it did drop, with the prices and everything. But it's quite a bit. I mean, if I was PlayStation or Microsoft, I'd be going like, whoa. So where did this come from? I mean,
everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's in the same position. Yes. Even PlayStation are suffering massively, and they usually are always beating Xbox. I mean, Xbox are already getting well outsold by PlayStation on a good day. So on a non-massive inflated component market that we have, but I mean, 58% even for PS5. That's nuts. That's a lot.
You know what this reminds me of? But it's couched in a game console hardware kind of thing. It reminds me of the bubble back in 2008 when the real estate bubble busted and all this stuff started happening, and everybody that was grown to the size of a watermelon had to start conserving back down to the size of an orange. So except that if this is game related, it's almost the same thing. I mean, you're seeing it across the board. I mean, everything is going like really expensive. People are going like, yeah, you reached my point where I'm not doing it. Sorry. So and I understand. I mean, but now to the next article, I just wanted to be fair and do a however article. So however, Switch 2 is carrying the console market. And it says here, Switch 2 has reportedly sold 5.9 million units in the U.S. within its first year alone, making it the second fastest selling gaming hardware platform in U.S. history, behind what? The Game Boy Advance. Also Nintendo. It was also
Nintendo do what Nintendo do. They're unique.
Yep.
They are.
I didn't think it would be quite that good, but I mean, like, wow. It was also the top-selling console in May by both units and revenue. While Xbox and PlayStation are struggling with the price and so forth, Nintendo is doing Nintendo things, like you just said, right? Less power, more focus, strong software identity, massive mainstream appeal. Nintendo is proving that the console market is not dead as far as they're concerned, or boring or expensive in their world, or whatever. So
yeah.
There you go. I mean, if that's the case, and I was coming into the console market to try for the first time, at this point in history, I guess I would go for the Switch. I because I don't see the benefit in going with the other two.
It's probably the best bang for your buck at the moment because the DLSS carries it pretty far. Although they're putting their price of their consoles up in September, they gave everyone a massive heads up that, listen, guys, buy as many of them as you can at the moment because we do need to increase the prices shortly. It is pretty good value, although it's got some of its issues, like the screen on it. It's got ghosting apparently, but I never use it on the go. I use it as a home console, so it's good value, man. I think it's a good improvement on the first one for sure.
I mean, the price of their games have gone up, which is kind of not great, but again,
only one of them was $80, mate. The rest of them, only one or two were $80. The rest have been $70. It's per game they're doing it on, which don't know how I feel about that.
I guess it depends on the IP, maybe too. If they bring an IP that's not as popular as Mario, they should charge less.
What did they increased it to 80 for Mario Kart World and for Donkey Kong Bonanza, or was it something else? So per game basis, I get it. Yeah, usually good replay value in these games as well. So,
I mean, when you think about how many games, I mean, it's not a giant amount, but there's a bunch of games that have ported over to Switch 2 now. Games that I thought would never port over to Switch 2 has happened. So technically, again, if you put that into consideration, I think I would, if I'm going to blow the money, I'm going to blow it on Nintendo because I can play some of the games that PlayStation and Xbox have on the Switch. So it would seem you would have the best of both worlds, generally speaking, in that way.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. They'll probably win the generation, I think. Nintendo, the Switch, hands down. Cool.
That's it for my stories until the next group.
Until the next segment. Yeah.
UBF.
Cracking on,
and not
from
Ubisoft,
that.
UBF.
Oh, if you got Ubisoft, bad news for us. We always love a bit of
that. No. No, the news for them has already been. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Carrying on a little bit of GTA 6 related kind of stuff. The release of GTA 6 in November when it comes out, they're saying may lead to a shortage of consoles at Christmas. A major retailer has warned. And you might be surprised, but then again, don't be, because of the current market we find ourselves in at the moment.
No one's buying them anyway, so.
Well, they will when GTA comes out. We've been informed that because of the ongoing issues around hardware component availability, we won't be getting units we want ahead of GTA. Who was it that actually said that? A senior games buyer for an unnamed retailer. Oh, unnamed.
Unnamed.
Demand will likely outstrip supply during the year-end period. Sony were counting on that. Now, Sony are suffering, just like Gray said, as well as Xbox, although Xbox suffering more. PlayStation have got a better tie-in with Rockstar. I mean, one of the characters in the trailer seen playing a bloody PlayStation with a PlayStation controller, so don't know how much more in bed you can get, but they've got the kind of promotional aspect of GTA lined up. So they'll be hoping that'll be worth the money they spent on that, because there will be a a spike in consoles around that time, Gray, just before lead up to the holidays. That's why if you want to get a PlayStation in sooner rather than later, you're better doing so before the prices go up again, because they will.
Right. If
And
you're going to buy
then,
it for Christmas season, do it now and put it away.
yeah, because otherwise you'll then be getting the first $1,000 PS5 Pro console, which is nuts. Like, it's worth me actually maybe even trying to make a profit in mine. Wait until the next price spike goes up and then go, there you go, here's a good price for you guys.
Oh, I gave you the used prices on eBay. Not bad.
You did, and it was interesting. But they'll increase again, Greg, for sure. I know that might sound nuts in the current day and age. They're not selling very well, that there might be a shortage. But GTA is such a massive franchise that it will cause people to. I mean, rumor had it that Rockstar made, or I guess Take-Two made, $1 billion in the first 24 hours of their pre-order.
I wouldn't
or was that
doubt
a
it,
matter of hours? So, and there's the daily diehard people that want the pre-orders in. Nice.
So, what do you, out of curiosity, what do you think would have happened if GTA 6 did not come out now, or had pre-sales or whatever? What would have happened to the console sales, et cetera, et cetera? It would have had to take another hit.
Yeah, they would have. 100%.
Yep.
It would be good for business for anyone involved. So that's why they'll probably crunch to get it out for November, especially that pre-orders are now available. Doesn't stop there being a third delay, but it just means there's less chance of it happening.
So if I was Take-Two, I would talk to a PlayStation and Xbox and say, listen, we'll hold back if you guys cut me in for a percentage.
Or GTA just go, right, okay, you want to have some kind of exclusive kind of deal on our platform, you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. Give us this much money.
Which is what was happening with PlayStation, basically. So yeah, there may be a shortage of consoles getting quite before the prices go up, because the prices will go up and you will be snookered. Again, speaking of GTA, it's not something I had noted down, but it's something that came to mind, Gray, that they are, again, just rumour, when they launch the game, it will be initially playable at 30 FPS, which annoys all of us. But they did say that 60 FPS should be available in the PS5 Pro, and that they are working to get 60 FPS at least on the current gen consoles, the non-Pro editions, a short while after launch. So 30 to start with, if you've got the Peasant Edition console, with the potential to go up more later in a patch. It's got to be 60 FPS for me, but I think the PS5 Pro will be, well, of course, will be the place to play it because it's the most powerful hardware console out at the moment. You'll get your ray tracing in there, you'll get your 4K goodness, you'll get 60 FPS. It will look and play very, very well. But yes,
I can't understand why they would ever do 30 FPS. I mean, when PCs are pushing 75 to 100 as being normal now instead of 60, and they're still floating the console at 30, I'm going like, what? I mean, it's like, man.
Yeah, I don't like it, but apparently, if they can make it stable 30 FPS and make it look shiny, then I would rather have the option to go to 60 if possible, and then you just put in dynamic resolution so that it goes up and down depending on what bandwidths are available, what resources are available. And most people don't really notice a big difference to the eye, especially in a fast-paced game. But yeah, so we'll kind of part the GTA stuff for now. But we're kind of console.
Why don't they just put frame gen in the consoles somehow?
Yeah, they do. They do. Pisser 2.0.
Yeah, but does it double the frame rate or just picks it up a little?
Pisser 2.0. I can't remember exactly, but it's
because I'm thinking if I remember right, it improves it, but not like what Nvidia is doing, where you get the 2 times and 3 times.
Yeah, but they're way ahead in that. They're way ahead. Not to be fair, Pisser 2 is supposed PSSR 2 is supposed to be. It is a big improvement. So that will be enabled by day one as well, I believe, which will make it look fantastic. And also as well, like another side tangent you just reminded me of. Remember FSR 4 and then by default 4.1? Remember when that was a launch a year or two ago? It was only available in the latest AMD graphics cards. You had to have the latest one. They are working on it for the older cards as well now, despite them saying it could only be on the latest gen cards. Like, just be honest and say we wanted to actually, it's just for the top cards at the moment. We maybe look to bring it out to the lower cards later on. Just be honest with people, man. Like, don't lie. That's annoying. Like, it's scummy. And part of it comes from the Steam machine, which will be maybe trying to get FSR 4.1, because that will really help the Steam machine.
Sure.
We'll struggle without it.
I think part of the thing is, I don't think you would have even seen this if it wasn't for the fact that the market's so bad right now. Otherwise, they would never have bothered. But now they're going like, well, we got to do something to make it look like it's worth more. So now they're trying to go the software route to try to boost stuff so that people can not get too pissed off, and everything going around. In fact, I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm glad they didn't do it, but I'm really surprised at knowing the greed sometimes that they didn't charge people, to go to FSR 4.1 or beyond. We pay for this and we'll send you a pack.
That's a good point, Gray. Actually, I'm surprised that you've got a point. That was a way to earn a buck, and they never done it. What's going on?
I think they would have. I wouldn't put it past them that they would have done it again if the market wasn't suffering. So now it's just kind of like, we got to do something to make ourselves look good. We can't charge for this anymore. So we'll have to give it to them for free. It's like,
exactly, mate. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
I mean, really, and Nvidia is just as much to blame, because Nvidia didn't really have to come out with frame gen, especially when you get frame gen 4 times, and now they're saying it might even be 6. And all this stuff. I mean, it's all just cosmetics now. Almost kind of like when you're in a game and they charge you a crap load for cosmetics, and you're like, what? I mean, that's what's going on. I mean, they're going like, let's just increase the frame gen. Yeah, but you're only increasing the bad frames too. Like, we don't care. It's 200 FPS. Do it.
Some people love that.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, it was linked to what we were saying before about component prices and whatnot, and Gray touched on this a little bit as well. As the Xbox Series X hits $800, Lenovo, the PC makers, warns memory prices will likely never return to normal.
Yeah.
Which these articles kind of linked together, they'll make more sense. They can't see them ever going back to the old levels. And if anything, they expect another doubling before the end of next year, before the end of 2027.
Doubling? Wait a minute. Doubling in what? Price?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm glad we're
I understand it going up, but when you start hearing doubling, I mean, that's
doubling of already something is really high as it is. It's more than doubled in the last year and a half.
That's nuts. Completely nuts.
Yeah, so I mean, that links to the other thing I was going to discuss, which I want your opinion on this interesting topic, Gray. So Samsung, SK Hynix, which I think are an offshoot of Samsung, or at least in terms of the memory division. Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron are the 3 main RAM manufacturers in the world. They're now facing a US federal class action lawsuit for concluding to bring about a RAMpocalypse. Get it? RAMpocalypse. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty good. So you can't. You've got to give it to the Yanks. A good old class action lawsuit gets you up in the morning, gets you have that along with your cornflakes in the morning. What's the difference between a lawsuit and a class action lawsuit, though, Gray? You'll be able to tell me that.
Class action lawsuit means that almost anybody can join the lawsuit. But what it also means is, like, let's say
it's just co-op mode. It's co-op mode.
Right. Well, yeah, but here's what happens. Like, let's say for argument's sake, the lawsuit is successful and XYZ Micron, whatever, has to pay like I'm just making this up, $1 billion, right? So that means that everybody that was on the class action suit, whether it was 10 or 1 million people, will each get a percentage of that money. So you may get $1 in the mail, or you might get $10, or you might get $100. But it's not the point of the money that's going to be given to you. It's a point of being able to say that you were right about this, and that a company isn't going to get away with it. So believe me, class action lawsuits can get quite large, and companies don't like them.
Well, that's what we have on the agenda here. They were going to be dragged into a courtroom on allegations of collusion and price fixing.
Collusion is a bad word.
As appears to have happened last week, just as Apple cited soaring memory prices for implementing a slew of price hikes, which they did. Apple, even their new MacBook Neo, like the small kind of cool cheap one, even that increased $100 as well. So, and the new phones coming out in September, they'll be more expensive as well. Everything and everyone's getting hit by this. So, yeah. As I said, Samsung, SK Hynix, Micron were collectively sued. Odyssey's actually happened already on June the 25th in a California federal court over allegations of collusion and price fixing. The lawsuit aims to represent a class of consumers and businesses who have purchased products containing commodity DRAM during the recent price surge. Now, I won't read all of it because there's loads, but it does go on for a little while. As for specific allegations, the lawsuit contends that Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron leveraged their apex position within the global DRAM market to bring about a coordinated pivot to AI-critical high-bandwidth memory, HBM memory, it's kind of popular hash RAM these days, using the strategic realignment as an excuse to curtail the production of older memory formats such as DDR3 and DDR4. It goes on to say, according to the lawsuit, this coordinated action has significantly reduced the supply of commodity DRAM, driving up prices by 700% over the last 4 years as a result.
700.
Which leads to the RAMpocalypse.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's close
to 200. That's close to 200% per year.
Yeah. That's
it. I mean,
and they don't want to open up new fabs to make more Gray, because if they do, that brings down the cost for them. So they want to keep it high. Do you know what I mean? This is why I talk about bringing an asteroid down and wiping out mankind, because all we're doing is we're only driven. We're driven by money. We're a greedy species. Not you and I and the listeners individually, but collectively, it's all about money, and there's more to life than money.
You know me, customization. So I'd want to customize the asteroid to only hit where I want it to.
Oh yeah, you could get mods as well for it, Gray, as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So you could put like the big Fallout boy in front of it, like with the middle finger as it comes down towards you.
You see it getting closer, and he's sitting there with his thumb up like this, getting closer. Oh shit!
There is no further information on this at the moment. Like, it was filed on the 25th of June, and these things can take a while to run their course, and maybe nothing comes of it, and these companies will have shit-hot lawyers working for them. So you don't tend to, from my experience, see big, massive wins and payouts for these things. And if you do see wins, they're kind of small and marginal. So we'll see what happens. They need proof of this.
Let me stop you for a second, because I see the article that you were looking at and there's one thing that's real important in this article. At the very end, he says, after all, Samsung and SK Hynix have already pled guilty to criminal price fixing charges brought by the U.S. Department of Justice in the 2000s. resulting in a $731 million in fines. Now, why do I say that? Because when you have a precedent set and you have a class action lawsuit, guess what? Your chances of winning on the or their chances, I should say, of winning on the lawsuit is going to be much smaller. So they could be heading for a bruising.
Well, surely it would be higher because it's happened before to them in the past. And
no, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm saying it's going to be bad for Samsung and Hynix because the precedent has been set that they've already screwed up big time, and now it's happening again. Yeah, the class action suit's I think will definitely be successful against them.
Where does that money go to? To the companies that filed a class action lawsuit?
Well, first of all, the lawyers got to get paid, obviously.
Well, obviously.
So they'll get their percentage, whatever it might be. And the rest of it, like I said before, gets split up amongst everybody in the suit. So if there's 1 million people, they all get $1, or not $1. You know what I'm saying? They might get 5, 10, 100, whatever. It all depends. Hey, look, I've gotten checks in the mail come to me from other class action lawsuits, maybe 5 different times that I can think of. 4 of the 5 times I got like a grand total of 50 cents, $1.25, but that's times millions of people, right?
Yeah.
Once and only once I got one for 125. I don't even remember what it was. I was
that's a waste of money. Why don't they just give you an option of putting it towards charity or something? No one wants an extra $1.25 if I could be all collectively put in towards a charitable.
Well, cause. I kind of agree with you, but what I'm saying is that the reason why you remember the $1.25 might not seem like much, but that's because they were fined like $500 million times a whole lot of people, let's say. So the idea is that they got nailed, and that was the whole point of the class action suit. But by law, if they did win and they had to pay these big fines, the law says you must split up that money amongst all the people in the lawsuit, which is fair.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting because, like, I've never been a fan of supply and demand. A lot of people will think it is fair and it's the way of things and it's natural, but charging more for an item often doesn't produce more of said item, whether it's scarce or not. It just is greed and more money for a punter. If something runs out, it runs out. And then when it goes back into stock, you sell it again. But just people just try to make... I'm not against a person, like an individual like you or I, Gray, or even a company making a profit. I'm not against that. I'm just against sheer, utter greed. Yeah. There is a shortage of components, but they are still managing to keep up and make a lot of RAM. It's just a lot of it's getting siphoned off towards the AI industry, which is, whatever it is, what it is. Just you get fed up with the greed, that's all. But anyway, moving on from that, this story I like because you see a lot on the Switch, the Nintendo eStore. You see a lot of it, and every console and even the PC market is guilty of this. And it says that Sony will soon remove over 550 purchased movies and TV shows from PlayStation users' digital libraries. It's confirmed. Now, this is a two-pronged thing. So first of all, they are removing a lot of stuff from their digital libraries, and also they're removing a lot of bloatware as well. So touching on the first element, first of all, from September the 1st, 2026, all purchased content related to the production and distribution firm Studio Canal, we've heard of them, will be removed from PlayStation users' video libraries due to the end of a content licensing agreement. Now, this is only in certain countries. I think the UK is one of them. I don't think it's come out to the States yet, but I could be wrong. So on consoles these days, as well as games, you can buy digital media. I think you're mad buying it on a console, personally, but that's, to each their own. Right. Whether you've purchased this or not, even if it's in your library on your PlayStation, Gray, come September the 1st, it gets removed from your library. So I guess you maybe have to unplug the Ethernet cable or whatever, or disconnect it from the internet. That has surely got to be wrong. I know you're paying for the license, But that is wrong, surely. You pay for a digital copy of something on your PlayStation, and it can be just wiped and taken away from
Just
you
take it
in a few
away.
months'
Yeah,
time.
yeah. What
It's
they should be
wrong,
doing
man.
then, if you need to refund me, then you're going to take a movie away that I paid for. Well, okay, fine. Just give me the money back, and I'll buy something else.
It's happened in the past, refunds, but it doesn't always happen.
Right. Oh,
It's
no.
case by case, case by case. So that's just spread to more places in the world. So
they definitely don't want to refund a whole lot of money. I mean,
no, exactly.
And of course, I'm sure that the EULA agreement says right in there that we are going to screw you. Don't worry about it.
It does. It doesn't. Just because something is noted down doesn't necessarily make it acceptable or fair or reasonable. It just covers them. It's still shit regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing as well that Sony have been doing this quite a lot recently, and I guess it's like a side tangent story. Sony have been removing a shit ton of bloatware from their store. A lot of shovelware, as they call it, games. They literally removed hundreds upon hundreds of games from basically publishers that will put really cheap games up online that basically asset recycle assets on a regular basis from other games that they've got and take the lazy way out. They're really small, cheap games for like $1 or $2, and they're the easiest, quickest ways to get a platinum trophy because of that. So Sony went, enough, we're getting rid of this crap. Nintendo eStore is the biggest culprit, in my opinion, of this. It's had so much shit, which actually slowed down the eStore at one point on the Switch one. There's so much crap in there, and it seems like the quality assurance is just not there. As long as you meet the rules, regulations, you can post anything up there. No QA done on it, which is wrong. So Sony's clamping down on that. I want to see Nintendo do it more, and I want to see Microsoft do it more, and clamp down on the shite that we see here, because it's very hard to get, if you're an indie developer on, say, the PlayStation, to get some coverage anywhere near the front page of the store, because all this shite's in front of you. It makes getting discovered almost impossible. So, not a bad thing getting rid of all this shit. And then the last thing I've got, which is linked to something an article I discussed 2 articles ago, I think it was, and that was PS6's bill of materials. So what it
is
costs
this what
to
it
make?
costs for them to make it? Oh, I want to hear this.
Yeah, is now very close to the dreaded $1,000 line, but a delay still isn't likely. Now, people keep saying they should delay it, see things settle down, but what folk are not realizing is they started developing the PlayStation 6 in like 2023 or 2024. It takes years from initial concepts to get it out there. And then you make agreements with suppliers for components, you often years in advance. So that's why there won't be a delay, most likely, or significant delay, because it would cost Sony money to delay and fees. So whether it's high or not, they probably still have to go ahead with. The good thing about consoles is they swallow a bit of the price increase because they want to make money from you getting a console and spending money on their stores. So they usually don't make money off consoles at the first year or two anyway.
Right.
But they are saying, even though we're getting close to $1,000 an hour a console, at the cheapest they might very well be able to make a PS6. This time, well, actually not this time, next year, but the end of 2027, it's going to be $1,000. I say it's going to be more than that.
Oh, it's got to be.
Oh, 100%, if everything increases.
If the bill of materials, like you're saying, is close to 1,000 now, it's only going to go up over the course of the next couple of years. So, but let's just forget that part and just say that it's 1,000. Well, rule of thumb is, generally speaking, that whatever something costs you and you want to sell it, you need to charge double or more to make a profit, because
not
you
on
pay
consoles
off,
though, Gray. They take a hit in
consoles. No, I get it. But even if you don't do double, you're going to have to go at least 50%, if not double. So that means that the console will be $1,500 minimum when and if it comes out. It wouldn't be feasible for them. They wouldn't make money.
Well, they also have to then discontinue the PS5 Pro because then that will start competing in power and money for the PS6. And you want people to buy your new console. You know, you can't have the PS6 Pro being more powerful than a PS5 Pro but costed less. That just doesn't make sense. So as nice as it would be. So
can you imagine that if that's the case and the PS6 comes out and it's around $1,500, which I think was quite possible, you'll have a flood of PS5s and PS5 Pros all over eBay.
You will. the PS5 Pro looked like a good deal. Yeah. Secondhand. And Project Helix will cost even more, I reckon. Microsoft's new console because it's supposed to be a Steam machine on steroids. So that'll cost even more. And there'll be different SKUs in that as well. So, it's kind of nuts. They're saying 3 months ago, just 3 months ago, it was AMD leaker Kepler L2, I've heard of this person, claimed that Sony's current bill of materials for the upcoming PlayStation 6 console, bear in mind this was 3 months ago, was around the $760 mark. Thus floating the possibility of the console could be priced at $699. But, you know, another fellow leaker, Moore's Law is Dead, who's very controversial in the leaking business. Some people love him, some people hate him. They were saying a bill of rights of $743 just days later. But with the Steam machine coming out at such a high price, things increasing and continue to keep increasing. $1,000 if you got the base console of the PS6 for $1,000 this at the end of 2027, consider yourself lucky. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but consider yourself lucky. It's nuts. It's not going to improve anytime soon. If you want a console, especially for GTA, get it now. Generally, because it will cost more when GTA 6 comes out, you know.
And on the other side of the coin, if you even think about wanting to build a PC, it's going to be even more money. You might be forced to buy an expensive console because you can't afford a computer or gaming computer, I should say.
Gray posted an article in our Discord about the Steam machine, which was taking the piss out of the Steam machine. You could build a more powerful console computer similar to the Steam machine for less money. So we know that that's going to be dead on arrival, probably the Steam machine. Valve don't want to make a loss because they're a private company. So, and that's fair enough, but I don't think they'll sell as many units as they want to because of that. But anyway.
And whoever the marketer was they hired that named that thing the Steam machine, man, they need to be fired. I'm sorry.
I like it. I like
stupid.
it. Was that not what it was called in Half-Life, the Steam machine? You put your arm in and it would.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, or it was Half-Life Alyx.
I mean, the word stim is used a lot in gaming. You know that. You know, when you're like, I'm going to get a stem and stick it in your arm, like you said. So, I don't know. But yeah. It just looks goofy.
Moving on from my depressing news, I am sorry, people, but that's the way the market is at the moment. Gray's got a couple of things to discuss to close us off.
Yep. When we were talking about physical discs and everything, well, the announcement's been made that Marvel's Wolverine, the devs confirm that the PS5 game comes with a physical disc. The way they pitch it in their article is that after the controversy surrounding GTA 6 with the code in the box, like we said before, Insomniac confirmed that Marvel's Wolverine on PS5 will include an actual disc. Games Radar noted that Wolverine Standard Edition is still $70 with an optional $80 Deluxe Edition, of course. This is a perfect collector ownership preservation stories. Physical games are becoming less physical, because they're not there, and players are noticing we are entering the era of the physical edition that may contain a plastic case, a code, and your disappointment. I was like, but the thing is, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting that they're gonna do a physical release, but I think it's a pure marketing ploy because I see that people are taking a piss out of Take-Two on GTA for this whole code in the box thing. And I think they said, "Ooh, let's jump on this right now and let's put a physical one together." So, I don't put too much thought into that one. I think it's just a pure marketing ploy,
Of
just to
course
help
it is.
spur sales of Wolverine. And if you think it's going to catch on and people are going to start going back to physical, I highly doubt it.
They're not doing
I
a
mean,
collector's edition either, Gray, though, which kind of sucks because to have a little mini Wolverine figurine or
no, they are
something would
doing
have been
they are
better.
doing a collector's
Are
edition.
they?
Yeah,
Oh, my
$80.
bad.
$10
No,
more.
collector's edition, not the digital deluxe. Collector's edition is an actual something
Oh,
physical.
I see. Okay, yeah. Right.
That'd be a lot more. They're not doing that because to have a little mini Wolverine with the claws and stuff out would have been pretty cool.
You know what they'll do? They'll take a Wolverine character and they'll cut him in half like my golden gun and put him in. And
You
so you can only look at it one way.
You absolutely get bent over and shafted with that, man. You're half a bloody golden gun. Honest
I
to
know.
God.
But the Bond thing got me, and it does look nice. I mean, I'm not pulling the gun out to show it to anybody. It's supposed to stay in the case. So
Is that your child line in Tinder, is it?
that's like the smoke and mirrors, right? You're like, wow, look at that, man. Does it actually fire those plastic bullets? Nah, I don't think so.
Brilliant.
It would be cool if it did, though.
Yeah,
Anyway.
physical editions, get them while you can because they're a dying medium.
Last story I have, I actually think it's a pretty cool idea. Basically, the story goes, indie developers got tired of waiting for Star Fox, so they're making their own. So I wanted to see what that was.
Sued.
Well, yeah, well, no, they're not going to get sued. But here's what they were saying: they said that they're getting tired of waiting around for Star Fox and other games to end up being done when they know they could do it themselves. Now, they said that there are indie developers are already showing up with a crowbar and said, "Fine, we'll do it with a crowbar." The Verge highlights indie developers making modern Star Fox inspired games. Now they're not calling it Star Fox. Okay, include X Zodiac, Whisker Squadron. I love that.
Oh,
Whisker
God.
Squadron, Rogue Eclipse, and Wild Blue Skies. But I gotta give them credit because if you're sitting around waiting and you need to make a living, or especially the indies, right? I mean, if you can pull it off, or you can come up with a game and call it whatever the hell you want to call it.
Why do you think they won't get sued? Well, Nintendo literally hided people's Discords to try and take up the court and sue them.
Well, look, Pal World was succeeded, and Pal World is awfully close.
Yeah,
and I don't think the indies are going to do quite like that. They're just going to put together a game that's similar, but not entirely. And
yeah.
So I think they'll be just fine with that, especially since they're indie developer. So I think more power to them. If you can put out a game and you don't want to wait around, just do it, man. And if it's good, it'll work, and people will buy it.
Yeah. I mean, competition's never a bad thing. I just hope they get away with it. That's all.
I mean, they're mentioning something about Nintendo. They're saying that if Nintendo leaves a genre unintended long enough, indie developers eventually show up with a crowbar and say, "Fine, we'll do it." Like I said before.
Yeah.
So but there's a point to it when they say, like, if you don't want to do it and it just goes on and on and on, somebody's going to do it. I mean, Power World did it in a big way, and apparently they were brave enough to figure that they could win the lawsuit, and they did, unbelievably.
Well done.
So that sets a tough precedent now out there. That means everybody's going like, yay, and they're going to go ahead and start building some more games like this and not worry as much, and stuff. So we'll see. I'm almost tempted to play Pal World only because I'm going like, yeah, you won. I'll give you a shot. I'm going to try it.
No, I played it. We played it last time, and it was decent enough fun. It was just there's so many games to play. I had no issues with it. I mean, Pokemon with guns is a brilliant idea, if you ask me. It really is.
Sure.
But yeah,
it's almost like the Pokemon, the bad side.
After Dark. It's been a bit of a negative one. Been a bit negative one this time.
I love it. I think they should come out with a Pokemon After Dark. That was perfect. You're going to see a lot more than you want to see.
Well, let's try and end on a moment of perfection then, Gray. No no quiz this time because it's just the two of us and Gray done the quiz, but we'll just hold on to next week and do it then, hopefully. So, yeah, like, was there ever any doubt of getting at least an hour and a half, 90 minutes done? No, never. 1:35, so you lucky people. So, yeah, we'll call it there, Gray. That's us for this week. Also, me says thank you, everyone, the viewers, the listeners, and to the members we've got on YouTube at the moment. Thank you. And also a goodbye from Mr. Gray as well.
Yep. Bye-bye. See you next week as usual.
Cheers. See you later. Bye.